So this article was dropped at the beginning of 2024, going over San Diego real estate market predictions from a senior analyst from Realtor.com. Well, we're halfway through the year now, and now we're sitting in July. So are these predictions still right halfway through the year? Where do we stand? We're going to go through a few of the Q&As that they got through, break it down, and show you where we are as far as the San Diego real estate market right here in 2024. And as always, thanks for tuning in. If you guys ever have a topic you want covered, a neighborhood update you want done, just drop us a comment down below. We make videos for you guys. This is all about you and the San Diego real estate market. I'm Chris Erickson. We got a real estate crew right here in San Diego. And if you are looking to buy or sell, relocate, invest, whatever it might be, feel free to reach out. All of our contact info is in the description right below. We got your back when making the move here in San Diego. And I'll have this article down below. We're not going to go through all the questions, but it's from January. If you want to check it out, we'll have it in the description as well. So first question, San Diego is a top housing market. Why does it remain so hot? The San Diego metro area saw sales fall annually in both 2022 and 2023, as well as slowing price growth. Part of the reason for that was interest rates were rising very quickly during this time and then stayed elevated throughout the year. Now they're still elevated right now, so that we'll see where that cues into this year. But definitely when the interest rates started bumping up in 2022, the number of sales dropped by quite a bit and prices started to moderate. However, we expect both sales and prices to turn around in 2024, climbing compared to the previous year. So first, let's look at homes sold. Where do we compare it to last year? We're about 4% above where we were last year, but more or less just trending in that same line. We haven't seen a big bump up, and partially because interest rates have stayed elevated in that 7% range over the past year or so. Now we still have some time towards the end of the year to make this up, but we're in our heavy selling season right now in May, June, July, where you do see some of the most homes sold right here in San Diego. So kind of towards the end of the year, I'd expect this to start trending down a little bit. Now the median sales price, we have seen quite the increase. So we're up 10% year over year. So compared to where we were right now, we're at 949,000. Last year, we were sitting right about 868,000. So far, we'll give the analyst half a point. Median sales price, definitely up. Number of homes sold, just about the same as last year. Up a little bit, but not by a ton. Next question, what should sellers be aware of if they plan to sell their home in San Diego this year? Sellers are in a relatively strong position in San Diego as buyers face few for-sale home options. This means that sellers who list a well-priced, well-maintained home can expect considerable buyer attention. And that's definitely what we're seeing out there still, even with the elevated interest rates. Where in years past, 2021, 2022, part of 2023, any home that hit the market during those times was getting a ton of interest, likely multiple offers, and the condition and the list price, while important, weren't as important as they are now. Now those homes that are well-maintained and well-priced, those are still getting multiple offers. Right now, we're working with a few different clients out there, and in certain situations in Carlsbad and in Encinitas, there's still multiple offers on these properties, but it's not necessarily the 5, 10, 15 offers that we saw before. It's maybe 2, 3, 4 offers. Whereas some of the homes that might need a little work, that might not show that well, they are sitting a little longer. The market times are a little longer. Second part, however, as both mortgage rates and home prices remain elevated, sellers who are also buyers should seek out information about housing market conditions in the market they hope to buy in. Now, I just recently made a video on somebody doing exactly this, moving from one area of San Diego to the other. And the area that they were moving from was a little bit more of a buyer's market, not a buyer's market, but a little bit less of a heavy seller's market. It just wasn't as competitive. Things are taking a little bit longer to sell. Whereas the place they were moving, it is a more competitive market. So taking that into account, if I do have to sell here and buy here, well, how long is it going to take to sell this house? How long is it going to take to buy this house? How quickly do I need to go see properties? How quickly do I need to write offers? What else do I need to do to prepare to get that ready? So it's really important to know exactly what's happening in both markets. And these markets were only a few miles apart, but it is neighborhood to neighborhood, city to city. And the last part, many homeowners are choosing not to sell as today's prevailing mortgage rate is still more than 3% higher than the rate on a typical outstanding mortgage. And that's definitely true. A lot of people in San Diego who got into homes over these past few years had much lower mortgage rates, or if they were in their home for a while, refied. I, during this time, refinanced our house 2 times over the last few years, and we locked in a very good rate for the next 30 years. And that's kind of been, in my situation, we're potentially thinking about moving, but you're also thinking, well, now I have this interest rate and my payments like not that much, and it just kind of makes sense to stay where we are right now. And if I can see myself in that position, I can see a lot of other people out there in that position as well. So looking at the 30-year fixed mortgage rates, we're sitting about 7.13%. Now this number is not set in stone. It's really going to depend on your lender, what your credentials are, all that kind of stuff, like depending on what your rate is going to be. It could be significantly less. It could be significantly more. So talk to that lender as you're going through the buying process. But through the last entire year, mostly we've been above 7%. Back in October of last year, we hit over 8%. But with that said, there are also more sellers selling their homes this year compared to last year. So this is all of San Diego County. We're sitting back in May, so the new numbers will come out in the next few days. But 3,405 homes were on the market. Compared that to last year, we're sitting just above 2,000. And that's great for buyers out there, but we're still not in a zone where we have too many homes coming on the market. Back in 2017, 18, 19, anywhere between that 5,000 to 7,000 range for houses. That's a more typical market. You can see we're way below that right now. Now, if you're a first-time home buyer in 2024, especially in San Diego, what should you be aware of? Now, first-time home buyers will face a still challenging housing market in San Diego in 2024, which is definitely something we've seen out there. A lot of homes in those entry-level price points in different markets are going to get a little more competition just because they're going to be the most affordable in those areas. And this price can vary depending on if you are coastal Encinitas or you're inland Poway or you're down Metro San Diego, wherever it might be. Whatever the entry-level price point for that neighborhood is definitely going to have a little more competition. So these buyers should come to the marketplace prepared with a budget in mind, given the prevailing mortgage rate, which I just showed you right around that 7% range. While the competitive San Diego market may tempt first-time home buyers to stretch their budget, it's important to keep monthly housing payments affordable. One rule of thumb is to keep housing payments within 30% of the household's monthly income. And all of this is something you're going to do ahead of time before you're actually even shopping for homes. You're going to go out, you're going to find a lender, a broker. If you need some names, we have some great connections that people we work with in the past. And you can have that conversation of, here's what I'm thinking, here's what I'm comfortable with, and work backwards from there. Because there's a few other things to think about. It's not just your mortgage. You also have interest. So those are like the two main things you're going to see in a loan. You're also going to have insurance, which can be significant in certain situations, depending on where you are in San Diego, as far as high fire zones and this and that. There are some changes in that front too. So just keep aware of that. You potentially have an HOA there as well. And then you should budget every month for your property taxes, which are only due twice a year, but it could potentially be a significant cost as well, because the initial, like just the base is about 1%. And then there could be some other fees and stuff on top of that. So we always say budget about 1.25% for that. Now, is San Diego's 2024 housing market considered a buyer's or a seller's market? The San Diego housing market leads towards the seller's market, as low inventory levels and steady price growth mean that sellers can sell for a relatively high price, while buyers still face challenging affordability conditions. And I always like to show the market action index for this question. How's the market? It tells us on a scale of, are we in a seller's market? Are we in a buyer's market? Or how heavily are we towards one way or the other? Anything above this 30 line is going to be in a seller's market, which we've consistently seen over the past few years. Once it drops below that, it will be a buyer's market. Last month is this bottom one. Today is right up here. You can see we're a little bit lower than we were last month. And just for some reference, here's how it has been over the past few years. So we're not in this time zone of 2022 when it peaked out. This is as heavy of a seller's market as you get. This is a ton of competition. This is 100, 200 over ask, whatever it might be, 5, 10, 15, 20 offers, even more in some cases. We're not there. We peaked out in April this year about 62. We're trending down a little bit, means it's skewing a little bit more towards a buyer's market, but we're still well above that 30 mark. So simple answer is yes, we're definitely in a seller's market due to the limited number of homes on the market. We're still not where we need to be there. The amount of buyers in the market, which is still significant, and the fact that San Diego, we do have a lot of relocation clients. Our other channel, we do work with a lot of people relocating from different areas, and we still have significant business coming in from that. So we do still see people moving in from elsewhere as well. And if you guys want to start that conversation, as a quick reminder, I'm Chris Erickson. We got a real estate crew right here in San Diego, and you can hit us up. All of our contact info is in the first link right down below. Call, text, email, however you want to reach out. Feel free to let us know. Let's start that conversation. We'll hop on a Zoom call, and make sure you're dialed in for your move, buying, selling, relocating, whatever it might be. We got your back when making the move here in San Diego.